Hey everybody. Okay, this is one I've wanted to do for a while. I'm going to be responding to one of MatPat's theories. Now, if you aren't familiar with film theory, what are you doing here? Go click this card right here and subscribe, because MatPat's film theories are awesome. Even though I'm going to disagree with him on this, I want to make clear there's no ill will here. I love MatPat, I love film theory. He puts out much better content than I ever could, so this is an attack. Okay, so I'm responding to MatPat's idea that Elsa and Rapunzel are twin sisters. I'm going to focus on one particular aspect of the theory, and that is the idea that they have the same power because their tears heal people. That's wrong. Now, in fairness, he's not the only person to get this wrong. Lots of people do. I was watching a video on Super Carlin Brothers, and at first they sounded like they were going to go where I'm going with this response, but they ended up thinking that maybe it is Elsa's tears that save Anna, and it's not true. It's not how it works. Here's why. We need to look carefully at the sequence of events. So we learned earlier in the movie that only an act of true love can thaw a frozen heart. So, what's true love? Well, in the fireplace scene, Olaf, the greatest Disney character ever, tells Anna that love is putting someone else's needs before yours. Like how Kristoff brought you back here to Hans and left you forever. Because if he really loves her, he has to want her to be happy even if it's not with her. See, yeah, it sucks, but if someone you love doesn't love you back, if you really love them, you have to let them be with the person they love, because you have to value their happiness more than your own. Okay? So, if someone else doing an act of true love would thaw a frozen heart, then that should have broken the curse right there. Kristoff bringing Anna back to Hans. Or, alternatively, same scene, Anna tells Olaf not to stay by the fire because he'll melt. Says, some people are worth melting for. Again, that would be putting her needs before his, therefore an act of true love, so the curse should have broken when Olaf started melting. But it didn't, just like it didn't break when Kristoff brought Anna back to Hans. Okay, so then we get to the scene where Anna freezes. She sees Hans about to slice Elsa with the sword and kill her. She jumps in the way. She freezes. The ice that she turns into super cools Hans' sword, makes it brittle and breaks, and then the shockwave knocks Hans back. Elsa sees what happens, then starts crying for loss of her sister. And then a little bit later, Anna thaws out. Olaf picks up his head and says, an act of true love can thaw a frozen heart. Right after Elsa says, you sacrificed yourself for me, Anna says, I love you. Olaf figures it out. Oh, an act of true love will thaw a frozen heart. So people tend to think that what happened here was the act of true love was Elsa mourning her sister. That's not what happened. Again, if the act of true love could be made by someone else on behalf of Anna, then it would have broken long before that. Again, either with Kristoff bringing her back to Hans, or with Olaf melting at the fireplace. Anna unfreezes, her heart thaws, because she did the act of true love. She was willing to sacrifice herself to save Elsa. R2, what's that quote about true love again? That's right. The greatest act of love is to lay down your life to save someone else. That's what Anna does. Anna thaws. She melts her frozen heart because of something she did, not because of something anyone else did. Her willingness to sacrifice her life is what breaks the curse. It's what thaws her heart. Again, it's a little confusing because of the time lapse, but it can be explained pretty easily. There's just a little time in between the act and then the curse breaking. So yeah, that's how it works. Anna sacrificing herself to save her sister is the act of true love that thaws her frozen heart. Now then, what about the other issues? Tying it to Elsa being able to create life, being similar to Rapunzel being able to heal people with her hair. Well, I don't buy this either, because it's just powers get stronger as they get older. Like you can see this in many superheroes. When they start off, their powers are much weaker, but as they learn to control them, get stronger. And that's just how superpowers work. Like Jean Grey, when we first see her in the first issue of X-Men, yeah, she can use her telekinetic powers and move things around. But as she grows in her powers, as comics progress, she gets older, her powers get stronger, and she becomes one of the most powerful mutants on the planet. Similarly, when Iceman first started using his ice powers, he looked kind of slushy, like a badly made snowman. As he gained more control of his powers, he became more ice-like, more crystalline. So, why not the same with Elsa? When she's a kid, she can make nice little snow berms in the room so they can play. She can make a snowman, but it's not alive. But as she grows and her powers get stronger, like Bobby said they would, they take on new effects. So instead of just making snow piles in the hall in her castle, she creates countrywide storms. Instead of building a snowman and manipulating it herself, they come to life. Again, just natural progression of powers getting stronger. So I don't buy that part of the theory either. Okay, so that's why I disagree with Matt Pat's theory that Elsa and Rapunzel are twin sisters. I think if you're going to try and make them related, the easiest way would be to make them cousins or something. Because, like, that happened in actual history. In World War I, the monarchs of Britain, Germany, and Russia were all cousins. So I think it makes the most sense if Rapunzel shows up to Elsa's coronation because she's another monarch in the area, and they're also related. I don't buy Elsa being her twin sister for a lot of reasons. Among them, Elsa looks just like her mother. Okay, the model is exactly the same as her mother and adult Elsa in her coronation dress. The only difference is the hair color. The model's exactly the same, right down to the hairstyle. So Elsa is definitely her mother's daughter. The idea that her powers came out of nowhere aren't explained, therefore she should be Rapunzel's twin sister because they get their power from the mixture of the flower. Don't buy it. Sometimes powers just come out of nowhere in fiction. She could be a mutant, like the X-Men. Stanley admits when he created the X-Men, he was out of ideas for how to give origin stories for how people get their powers, so he just said, they're just born with them. They're mutants. And likewise, look in Harry Potter. Muggleborns. People like Hermione had no history of magic in their family, but they're magical. Or look in Star Wars. People come from lineages, people with have no history of force sensitivity in their family. They're born to regular people, they're force sensitive, they become Jedi or Sith. So I don't think it's a reasonable reach in that regard. So that's my response to the idea that Elsa and Rapunzel are related because they both have tears that can heal people. Because that's not Elsa's power, that's not what saves Anna. Well said, R2. Alright, so those are my quick thoughts. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time.